Okay. On 86. Who do we get to meet? '86, right. This is where we meet the Alchemist. And now, the book is 160 pages long, so we meet him about halfway through the book. And he tends to dominate for quite a while in here. And he just has his kind of bits of wisdom. On 87 says, he had only one explanation for this fact. Things have to be transmitted this way because they were made up from the pure life, and this kind of life cannot be captured in pictures or words, because people become fascinated with pictures and words and wind up forgetting the language of the world. Again, this is tying in that same lesson that we learned from the Noah character, right? Was that people become too fascinated with one thing and forget the other, striking a sense of balance. Now, the difference here is illustrated between the Englishman and, on 89, Englishman and Santiago again, through the issue of trust and a gun. How is that? On 89.
You want to know why a gun would make you trust people?
Well, I mean, yeah, is that trust?
I mean,
Huh?
if he's trusting the wrong people, he has the gun there. If he trusts the gun instead of having trust them.
Then he's not trusting
Yeah.
people. He's trusting the gun always. So, ultimately, we see that the Englishman's just, again, he's the guy that's disconnected. He doesn't know people. He doesn't understand trust, right? He understands the books. Now, and ultimately, he's not taking a chance, is he? I mean, not with that kind of stuff. And so, we're starting to see kind of the flaws and the mindset of the Englishman and where he falls short. And that is a big reveal for his character in the why the revolver. It helps me to trust in people. Well, ultimately, no, you're not trusting in people if you're relying on them. If you have a revolver that helps you to trust in people, you're relying on them to fail you. It's like people that they automatically assume the worst. Well, I mean, so that way that they're never disappointed.
I mean, if you really trust people, you would never bring a gun.
Right.
Because you trust that you wouldn't have to use it.
Right, and like I said, assuming the worst in people. That's no different than assuming the worst in people to protect yourself from getting hurt. And ultimately, the irony in that. Well, first of all, there's two things. There's two things that are wrong with that, because the Englishman represents that guarded type person in the sense that. Well, first of all, you talking about the people that assume the worst so that they're able to be defensive, or they're able to not get hurt, right? Well, hello, or get taken advantage of, or whatever, and then or people that say that that their trust needs to be earned, and then there's two problems with that. First of all, is that's relying on the other person to do all the work. And second of all, that's assuming that your trust is worthy to be earned in the first place. Right? Because, again, we all have our little things that we're messed up about. And we're, just like for me personally, I think, I never assumed that about myself. I'm like, God, I'm not really that great of a person in the first place. I should never assume that, my trust is worthy of being gained by someone else, because who are they to be trying to gain my trust? I'm not that good of a person, and in reality, none of us are. And so that's kind of the point that Coelho is making, because the walls that are put up between us for absolutely no reason at all. First of all, you don't have that much to be guarded of, and we shouldn't be that much. We shouldn't be guarded, and we, like I said, we don't have that much to be guarding in the first place. Let me see. Okay, on page 90. So the Englishman didn't want to tell the others about his reasons for being at the oasis and couldn't make up his mind, but finally he agreed that the boy who spoke better Arabic than he should do so. The boy approached a woman who had come to the well to fill a goat skin with water. One of the biggest and most important stories in the New Testament is Jesus and the woman at the well. And what made that, and what makes this parallel so striking is, first of all, this woman at the well, and it's the boy at Santiago that talks to her. And at this time, that's one of the story of the well, the story of the woman at the well in the New Testament is so important, or such a big deal within the realm of Christianity, is because, well, first of all, the woman at the well was a I don't know if she was a prostitute, but she would be called a whore because she was paying her rent with sexual favors. And she was alone at a well, and you were not supposed to speak to a woman, especially alone in that kind of situation. Jesus talks to this woman, and he shouldn't have even been seen in the same area of her as her, not only because she was a woman, but also because of the fact that the kind of woman that she was. In society's eyes. And of course, right, Jesus really didn't see her any different than anyone else, and didn't see a problem talking to her, so he did. And that's what made that situation so kind of remarkable within the context of the New Testament. Here, Santiago, there, like I said, all these Christian references going along. Another one with the woman at the well, and Santiago, getting in trouble nearly getting in trouble because he is approaching and talking to this woman, and he shouldn't. Now, let me skip on through here. Okay, now whenever he starts talking to really kind of gets involved with the girl, on page 97, says Maktab, she said, "If I'm really a part of your dream, you'll come back one day." They had a difficult time convincing their wives that they had to go off into distant fields. The love required them to stay with the people they loved. He told Fatima that at their next meeting, and this is what she says: "The desert takes our men from us, and they don't always return. We know that, and we are used to it. Those who don't return become a part of the clouds, a part of the animals that hide in the ravines, and of the water that comes from the earth. They become a part of everything, and they become the soul of the world. Some do come back, and then the other women are happy because they believe that their men may one day return as well. I used to look at those women and envy them at their happiness. Now I too will be one of the women who wait. I'm a desert woman, and I'm proud of that. I want my husband to wander as free as the wind that shapes the dunes. And if I have to, I will accept the fact that he has become a part of the clouds and the animals and the water of the desert." Now, what is she basically granting the boy here? Right. Now, is this a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, how do you guys view this relationship?
It'd be pretty cool, I would think.
Pretty cool. Anybody else?
Don't really know each other, but they're just kind of going off of, I guess, feel for each other in some kind of way.
Well, I mean, they don't really know each other, but at the same time, there are people that have been together in relationships for years that think that they know each other. I mean, how well do you really know anyone in the first place? Exactly, and that's the point with trust, is that's why people get heartbroken, is because they think that they know someone and they trust someone that they think that they know, and they've invested all this. And so you can only know someone. There's no sense in not trusting anyone, because you can only know as much about them as they really want you to know. And so you can either start off trusting people, or you can and then stop and then gain trust back and have that betrayed, right? Or not have it betrayed. It's a 50-50 shot. But the idea of holding out and waiting to trust someone. Now, there's a difference between being a trustful person and being an absolute idiot, right? But here the point is, it's like, okay, I'll sit and I will wait for you. That very open and very free, but also that kind of freedom is also binding, right? I mean, what's the quickest way for a man to drive away a girl, or for a girl to drive away a guy? To smother them. Yeah, like the trying to smother a guy or trying to smother a girl will do nothing but push them away. Right. She's granting this guy absolute freedom, and he says that's a pretty cool girl. That sounds like a pretty cool relationship to me, right? He has something to come back. He has something to come back to, right? And so that is bonding, right? And that is allowing that freedom is the ultimate attraction. And so not only do we have that, but we also have, again, that idea of allowing yourself to be open enough to trust someone enough to wait for them like that. Because, again, that's the same thing. How many guys have been, men or wives, whatever, that have been married for years and years and years, and they go and they they go on business trips and stuff, and they have a little floozy or fling in their towns while they're out traveling. And they come home and they live a perfectly normal life, and no one is none the wiser. And that happens all the time. And they don't really, and there's complete trust in that relationship, and it's being betrayed on one person or the other. You can only know so much about someone as they allow you to know, and so there's no sense in not trusting that person from the get-go, or not trusting that person. Here, what they're saying is they're going off of, because the boy is all into those, the language of the world and reading omens, and he fully believes that this girl is the one, the magical, mythical one, right? And might as well be a unicorn. But he's like going on the language of the omens and all that stuff, and so he's allowing himself to open up, and she is doing the same and trusting him in that manner, because why not? And on 99, this is difficult for him to really understand, right? He's really pondering this relationship, and he looks to 99 and says, maybe the desert birds at the bottom of 99. Maybe these desert birds could explain to him the meaning of love without ownership. And that's a very, very difficult concept for us to grasp, the idea of love without ownership, and respecting that, or respecting that bond, or respecting love for the sake of love, because what he's trying to say, I guess, is the idea of once you feel that you own something, why do you feel that if you feel that you own something, then you don't appreciate it as much, right? Like if that's mine, I can do with it as I want, or that's mine, it's not going anywhere because it's